Welcome back to Sports Talk with Dad. As always, my name is Kyle, and I cannot call this Sports Talk with Dad without the man sitting next to me, a man who is alive from McCarthyism, my dad, Tim.
I was not.
Well, you know what, though? It's funny that you brought up McCarthyism.
I didn't.
Because as McCarthy had a list, I also have a list.
What kind of list?
It's a list that I can actually bring forth in front of Congress and have something written on it. But it is a list of the entire, you get it, because McCarthy had the list of communists, went in front of Congress and had to show his list, and it was a blank piece of paper.
Yeah, it's like Adam Schiff. We've seen it before.
I thought it was clever. I mean, It's a history joke. All you watch is history and zoo television shows. I figured you'd appreciate
And
the
you
humor.
You watch My Floor is Lava or whatever it is.
Hey, that is a okay show, all right? But my list
Yes.
is I went through the entire 2025 NFL schedule and picked every single winner and loser.
64 and 32 is really bothering you, isn't it?
Well, here's the thing. It doesn't bother me that you went 64 and 32. What bothers me
Apparently it does.
is that the entire week, all I have heard is 64 and 32. Folks, it has been 64 and 32 non-stop. My son had a birthday on Saturday. The check comes. He goes, I bet you I can guess what the cost is of that check. Bet you it's 64.32. We went to the arcade. I bet you I can tell you how many tickets they won. 64.32. Non-stop 64 and 32.
I had one good year. I'm going to be below 500 this year. If I would have bet that for real last year, I would have lost money.
Well, I'm going to be above 500 this year.
Sure you are.
Because here's the thing. Now, I am not one to overreact to current news. I am not a person that sees something pop up randomly and change my opinion based on random information I see on the internet.
Anybody who's watching
You, on the other
show-
hand, overreact constantly.
Anybody who's
news.
watched this show knows you go off half-cocked as a regular feature.
It's part of my charm. But this year, I have made a list.
You've checked it twice.
I'm going to find out who's winners and losers of the 2025 NFL season, and we are going to get into that in just a moment. But before we get into my list, I am wearing a Cubs shirt today. You see the Cubs jersey on your wall. At the beginning, you saw all of our Cubs stuff everywhere. I am a diehard Cubs fan. My father is a half kind of Cubs
Die-hard
fan.
Cubs fan.
He cheers for the Brewers. A legend has died, and that is Ryne Sandberg, who passed away from prostate cancer just a couple days ago.
Very, very young at the age of 65. I loved Ryne Sandberg so much. I was going to name your brother Ryan
Right?
until your mother decided that we weren't going to name him Ryan.
He did become Ryan.
Yeah, he's
still
Ryan.
in honor of Ryne Sandberg. I'm mad at you about that, by the way,
Why is that?
because I became a baseball fan in 1998. My first games I went to were in 1998, and I missed Ryne Sandberg live by a year because you refused to take me to a baseball game.
This is now, I took you on a Ferris Bueller's Day.
Much later in life.
You were a senior in high school.
Yeah, that is not 1997, which is the last year that Ryne Sandberg played Major League Baseball. I'm just
all I
saying
got.
you could have taken me
I could have.
to a game,
I could have.
and you failed me as a father.
Sorry. But I will say, this is why I miss the Saturday game of the week, because I was planted watching the Sandberg game. I can't think of any other player in the history of baseball that has a game named after him.
He is one of the few.
That was so just riveting.
Yeah.
You've got the best closer in baseball in Bruce Sutter. He not only hits one, he hit two. He didn't hit the game-winning hit. That was a guy named Owen. His last name, I can't remember if it's Jake Owen or whatever, but he was like the last player on the bench to hit that. But Ryan had to tie the game in the 9th and then hit another one in the 11th. It was just unbelievable.
Arguably the greatest second baseman of all time. It's between
of
him
two.
and Joe Morgan.
At
As
least in modern baseball.
definitely, I mean, dead ball era baseball doesn't count at all, by the way. It's why Babe Ruth never pitched. It was just Shohei Ohtani who was pitched and hit at the same time.
I'm not going to go down that path with you
good.
because Babe Ruth pitched in 1930.
I did see the Cubs patch for Ryan Sandberg. They're going to wear one for the rest of the
Good.
year. I hope they wear one all through next year as well.
I love the outpouring that was at the Sandberg statue outside of Wrigley. He was just a really good guy besides being a Hall of Fame ball player. Came over in a trade for Avandes Jesus with Larry Boa. They were the shortstop, second baseman combo. He started out at third base, actually, and then they moved him to second.
I didn't know he started at third.
Started at third in Chicago.
I know the Cubs stuck with him when he was terrible in Philadelphia. And then when he first came over to the Cubs, he was not.
He was not the Ryan Sandberg you got to know and love. But he got it turned around. 84 was his breakout year. Won the MVP with 19 home runs. That would never happen today. But he was an elegant player.
Yeah.
It's the best word I can think to come up with.
I think it's a very good word for him.
He was graceful running the bases. He was a magician with the glove.
Yeah.
And I feel sad for obviously his wife, but I really feel sorry for his kids and his grandkids because they should be able to have him around for another 20 or 30 years. And sadly, cancer is evil.
Yeah, prostate cancer. They thought that he had beat it, went into remission, found out it came back. At that point, it had gotten into his liver.
Yeah,
and,
I was watching.
It was a slow goodbye.
I was watching MLB, and they had Bob Costas on, who is a very good friend of Rhino's. And apparently, the last couple of weeks, it was just a matter of time. They knew it was coming, and it's just sad. It is
65. It's crazy. You are 63.
Yeah.
And so, as you get older, you realize how young that really is. It's sad to see a legend go. I'm glad the Cubs are honoring him. Now, Chicago, it is time to go and win a World Series for Ryan Sandberg in honor of him.
That would be awesome if he did. He was in 84 when I was watching all those. He was part of something called that Harry dubbed the Daily Double with Bob Denier.
Yeah.
Because they were the number 1 and 2 hitters in the lineup, and it was just inevitable. Denier would get on, Sandberg would push him over or knock a home run. It was just, I loved watching him play.
Hall of Fame player, Hall of Fame person, Ryan Sandberg, rest in peace. On to my list.
Oh, my God.
I have it here. I literally went, so you and I were talking about the games.
Not theoretically.
Not theoretically. Literally went through every single game of the 2025 NFL season because I was thinking about it because I may overreact a little bit now and then. But you last year, you did something you hadn't done before, which is you had your teams picked early in the season.
Yeah.
And you stuck with your guns. These are the teams that I'm going with. These are the teams I'm sticking with. Even if you had a couple of losses on those teams, you said, this is who I'm picking.
Well, and specifically, I did that with the Rams and the 49ers.
Yes.
I said the 49ers were taking a step back, and they did. And the Rams played better than anybody expected.
You annoyed me. You picked the Rams. Every single time we had the Rams as one of our games of the week, you picked them to win, and they won. To the point where I was beyond myself upset.
Yeah.
I had to hear those stupid Rams.
Okay, you talk about me doing the 64-32 thing for a couple days this last week. Last year, you would sit there and talk to yourself after the show. Rams.
Because they always won. When you picked them, they won.
Yeah.
And it made no sense. They should not have been winning games they won last year. But I'm going to stick with my guns this year.
Okay.
I'm going to take the lead from you. And I have gone through, honestly, I started this just as, hey, let's look at some of the top 5 games. And then I got going. To the point where 6 hours later, my wife looks at me and says, you got to go to bed. It is time.
You're obsessed over it.
Completely obsessed over it. Just so you know, with this list, I do want to explain it here. If I picked, say, Baltimore to beat Buffalo, I then went to Buffalo and made sure to give them the loss. I started with the NFC North, went to the NFC West. So by the time I got to the NFC West, I was picking division games because I already had them picked for wins and losses.
You had
throughout the
nothing
season.
better to do.
Nah, not really.
Okay.
I even got the playoffs in here. As you will see, I got so deep, I had to go into the NFL rulebook of tiebreakers to pick some of these division winners and playoffs because I figured I'm here. I might as well see what this came out to be.
We always do a show where we pick our division winners and our playoff teams and our records. And
I have mine here.
All right.
Because I didn't just pick division winners off of nothing. I picked their wins and losses for every game and got to my division winners. So I'm going to share this list with you.
And this is going to last all of 2 weeks?
Until something shiny happens. But I'm going to stick to this.
Okay, go
I
ahead.
am. Hold me to it. All right. So, cue the music. For the AFC North, I have as my division winners the Cincinnati Bengals at 12-5.
Stop the presses. Joe Burrow fanboy picks the Bengals to
Listen.
win.
Yes. I like Joe Burrow. Quarterbacks win football games. I'm going off of this as I should have prefaced this as well. I'm going off of what is happening now. I'm not including injuries. I obviously think Matt Stafford, even though he's not playing now, is going to play. Trey Hendrickson, he's going to come back.
He came in today.
He did come in today. He is at camp doing a hold in. They'll get the deal figured out at this point. The Cincinnati Bengals are going 12-5 and winning the division. Baltimore is going 11-6. Pittsburgh, I have at 10-7. I have Cleveland finishing at 5-12.
Pittsburgh in or out of the playoffs?
I'm going to save that for a little bit. Remember, I had to go tiebreakers with some of these, and that will come into play shortly here. Cleveland's interesting because here's what I think is going to happen. I think they're going to come out and win. I do have Cincinnati losing 3 out of the first 4 games because they always lose in September. I do have Cleveland winning against Cincinnati, going on to a losing streak. I think they're going to switch out to one of the rookie quarterbacks, be Shedeur Sanders or Gabriel. And I think they're going to use those 2 picks to trade up to get a quarterback. I don't think any of the quarterbacks on the roster today are going to be on the roster next year.
Well, I think it's pretty much a given. It's Cleveland or New Orleans right now that are in the Arch Manning lottery.
Yes. But hold that thought here. On to the AFC East. This is where I think you're going to vehemently disagree with me. Not this part. I have Buffalo going 12-5 and winning the division. I have New England getting better this year, going 8-9. I have the New York Jets, to no one's surprise, going 5-12 this year. And I have Miami also going 5-12 this year.
How? Why?
I think Tua is going to, I know I said I didn't go by people getting hurt, but my hypocrisy knows no bounds. I do think Tua is not going to make it a full season. Tyreek Hill is already starting to complain. I just don't, they traded Jalen Ramsey. I think that's going to be a big issue for them. I just don't think they're going to hold things together. I think they're going to be in the quarterback conversation next year in the draft. I think it's time for Tua to retire. I do. He's dealt with so many injuries. He's saying he doesn't want to play in the preseason. I just think it's going to be a mess in Miami.
Okay. I hate to say it, but we've talked about Tua at length. He's one big hit from not playing anymore, but I'm worried about the rest of his life.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he's a great guy. I love his attitude on things, but I just think Miami is a mess. They've run into some issues and have gotten through some of them. I think this is where the shoe drops. Miami's going 5-12.
They'll be better than that.
Well, I made a list. Where's yours? Did you make one?
I didn't even know you were making a list.
Exactly. On to the AFC South. I have Houston winning the division at 11-6. I think that the sophomore slump happened last year, which happens to every single NFL quarterback. This is the 3rd year. This is the prove-it year for Stroud, and I think he's going to do just that. All of the receivers are coming back healthy at this point. They got a stout defense. I love their head coach. They are going 11-6 this year and winning the division. I have Jacksonville going 9-8.
They better make a step forward.
I do not think that their first-round draft pick is going to make as big of an impact as people think he's going to make, Travis Hunter. But I do think that Trevor Lawrence is going to take big steps here. Here's a fun trivia question for you.
Okay.
No long-haired quarterback has ever won a Super Bowl. Joe Montana is the quarterback with the longest hair to ever win a Super Bowl.
And his wasn't real long.
When it was half mullet.
Yeah,
It was very 80s poof.
That's why. Well, that explains why Don Majkowski never got the Packers to the Super Bowl.
You're right.
He had
That's
the
why.
full mullet.
It's not that the team was terrible at that point.
It wasn't terrible. It
It was on the rise.
was on the rise.
But
Didn't
I
Brady
thought
had long hair.
I was gonna say I thought Brady with long hair when I heard this he won, but no, he lost that year. The year he had long hair, he lost, cut his hair, and came back and won it. No long-haired quarterback has ever won a Super Bowl. So as soon as Trevor Lawrence cuts his hair, he'll be much better. But I do have them going 9-8 this year, maybe or maybe not making the playoffs. We'll hold on to that. Tennessee, I have going 7-10. I know the team's kind of a mess, but every rookie quarterback that comes in makes some sort of impact.
Cam Ward's going to have a good rookie year.
He's going to have a big impact on that team. He'll still go through the sophomore slump the next year. There's no film on him. He's going to get away with some things he won't next year. They're going to go 7-10. I have Indianapolis going 3-14.
So Anthony Richardson's last year in Indianapolis.
It is. It is Anthony Richardson's last year. I don't think Daniel Jones is going to make that big of an impact.
Well, if they've got 3 wins, they're going to be ahead of Cleveland in the Manning race.
I think they're going to be in line for a quarterback. There's a couple of quarterbacks coming out in this year's draft from the looks of it. I have them losing the first 4, and I think at that point, Anthony Richardson is benched for Daniel Jones. I have them winning then the next 2 against the Raiders and Arizona, and then I have them just going on a huge losing streak. The schedule is not going to help them at all.
Okay.
On to the AFC West.
This should be interesting.
Here's the one for you. Who do you think I have winning the division?
My bet, because you're a Bo Nix fanboy as well, would be Denver.
The LA Chargers win the division, going 12-5.
You're expecting Herbert to do something this year.
Listen, this is it. He has all the tools that people talk about. It more has to do with Jim Harbaugh. He's an outstanding coach. He's going to get the best out of Herbert. If he can't turn him around to the point where they're winning games this year and winning in the playoffs, then it's time for Herbert to go.
Yeah.
And it's time just to start over. This is prove-it year for him. The offensive line is a hell of a lot better now. The wide receivers are there now. There's no excuses left. It is time for the Chargers to win.
Okay, who do you have in second?
Second place, I have the Denver Broncos
There
going
you go.
11-6. I have the Raiders going 7-10. And the only reason I have them going 7-10 is because of Pete Carroll.
Yeah, he's a great coach. I've got this gut feeling that Denver is not going to be as good as they were last year. Could be wrong.
You know, I said every quarterback has a sophomore slump. But once again, my hypocrisy knows no bounds. I think Bo Nix is going to be there. Sean Payton's a great coach.
Yes.
Portland Sutton's a great wide receiver. They have a good running game. I really think they're going to make an impact. I have Kansas City going 10-7 this year.
I could see him taking a step back.
And remember, I had another team going 10-7.
Yes.
Remember when I said I wasn't going
Yeah,
to mention
I know.
playoffs? Hold on to your horses. NFC now. The NFC North winning the division. I have the Detroit Lions. I have them going 12-5.
2 new coordinators.
2 new coordinators, but I'm a believer in Dan Campbell. I still think they have all the intangibles, and I also think we're coming into the end of what the Lions can do. And mainly because of the running game. Montgomery, this is probably his last year in Detroit.
Oh, and Jared Goff is getting older, too.
Jared Goff's getting... Quarterbacks play until their 40s at this point. I'm not that worried about
Jared Goff's not going to be one of those guys.
You don't know that.
He's not. He's a very serviceable quarterback, and he's good enough to get you wins. He's obviously gotten the Rams to the Super Bowl.
Listen, the Lions stayed with Scott Mitchell for 4 years. Jared Goff's not going anywhere in Detroit for a
Did you
very
see what
long
he
time.
did, by the way, with his bonus?
Yeah, he gave it all away.
He's the Walter Payton Humanitarian of the Year next year for that.
I mean, he just gave
My
away
mark.
$15.6 million.
That was 15.9, but Okay.
Okay, call me a liar for .3 million.
It's a lot of money.
It is a lot of money.
And good for him. And good for the, what was it, Boys Club and Girls Club? Or is
It was to homeless shelters. I don't know exactly what he gave it to, but it was to buy beds
good
for homeless
him.
people.
Good for him.
Put his money where his mouth is. He's definitely Walter Payton Man of the Year this year already. I have the Green Bay Packers going 9-8.
Okay, Homer.
How is that a homer pick?
Just seems like one. I think the Packers are going to do one of two things. Either that 8-9, 9-8, or they're going to be 11-5. And in the hunt, it's all up to Jordan Love's play.
A lot of these games could go either way. I have them beating Detroit to start the year. They always seem to win the first game. I have them losing to Washington, beating Cleveland. I have them beating Dallas. They have an early bye this year.
Again?
Yeah, it's a week 5 bye.
That's not.
So I'm nervous about that. We'll see what happens. I am going 9-8. I have Minnesota going 8-9, and that is simply because of the rest of the roster. I have no belief in J.J. McCarthy.
That's the team that surprises me the most because I don't think, from what I've heard, even in the building, there's not a lot of faith in JJ.
Of course not.
And why didn't they go out? You know, I'm not saying they had to get Aaron Rodgers, but there are other quarterbacks out there that could have been gotten.
They tried to re-sign Sam Darnold.
That was
He
not
was
gonna
asking for
happen.
too much money. They tried to bring back Daniel Jones,
I would have
but
rather.
he went to Indianapolis thinking he had a better chance to start.
I would have rather seen somebody like a Geno Smith on the team. Anybody.
Geno Smith was going where Pete Carroll was
I
going.
know, and that's a good fit. I'm not, but there were other quarterbacks out there that seemed to make, in my mind anyway, made a lot more sense than JJ McCarthy.
I agree, but they kind of hamstringed with him. I think Aaron Rodgers should have been in Minnesota. I said that for a long time. I thought that was going to happen. This is a kid that really didn't throw the ball a lot down the field in college, and that's what Minnesota is built to do.
With that wide receiving core, yes. And I don't know if he's got that kind of arm. He's going to have rookie mistakes.
He had no development time last year.
Not
That
at all.
injury set him back quite a bit. I have them going 8-9 for that reason. I have the Chicago Bears going 4-13.
Well, with the comments out of Ben Johnson and the rest of the clubhouse about Caleb's performance, I just can't believe that the Bears would honestly, legitimately ruin another quarterback.
I don't think the Bears are ruining a quarterback. I think in Caleb Williams we bust. I mean, that was clever. I don't even get a giggle.
Uh-huh.
I you know how I felt about Caleb Williams for a long time. I don't think he is a good NFL quarterback. He relies too much on his athleticism. He moves around way too much in the pocket. Isn't getting rid of the ball quickly.
Well, on draft night, when those two were coming
Doesn't know
out,
the plays.
you and I were both saying that they should take somebody else.
Yeah. I didn't think Caleb Williams was the pick. I mean, that whole draft class could be blown up. Anthony Richardson seems to not have it under control. Caleb Williams seems not have it under control. It could be a mess. The NFC East, I have Philadelphia winning the division, going 11-6. I have them taking a step back. I am nervous about the defense this year. They lost some key pieces, but if Philadelphia does anything, it's draft and develop well. And so I think they're still going to win the division. And Jalen Hurts is a top 5 quarterback.
He is.
Dude, I saw a list that had him at 9. I saw a list that didn't even have him in the top 10.
It's ridiculous.
This guy has been to 2 Super Bowls and won one.
He has been like that since Alabama. Nobody seems to have faith in him. All he does is just go out and prove it.
He's a winner
He's a
time
winner.
and time again. He's a top 5 quarterback in this league. I have the Dallas Cowboys going 8-9.
You have Dallas in second, not Washington?
I have Washington in second going 9-8.
Okay. 9-8.
I think they're going to take a big sophomore slump. It's Jaden Daniels' second year.
I trust Dan
Always a sophomore slump.
I trust Dan Quinn and his staff more than that.
There's a lot of film on Jaden Daniels now. You didn't do much to improve the offensive line. You're fighting with Terry McLaurin over a contract right now who was a key piece to your offense last year. I don't think that gets sorted out anytime soon. We'll see what happens.
We will.
But I think they're going to take a big step back and go 9-8.
I think they're a 10-win team, at least.
I think you're wrong.
Obviously.
Dallas Cowboys I have going 8-9. It'll be interesting to see what happens there. I have the New York Giants going 4-13.
How long do you think Russell Wilson stays in then?
I have them losing the first 4 games.
Then he's out and Jackson Dart.
I think Jackson Dart comes in against New Orleans. They win that game. I have actually them surprising Philadelphia and beating Philadelphia at home. And then I have them losing a lot of games.
Okay.
Until they win against New England, and I think they beat Dallas at the end of the season. But 4-13. Now, here's the thing. This is where New York's going to be an interesting situation. Jackson Dart is their quarterback of the future. So going 4-13 puts them in a great spot to build that roster in some fashion or trade back and get more draft picks.
And I think that might be the smartest thing to do. As John Madden always said, they need big uglies.
They need a lot of big uglies. NFC South. I think you're going to be disagreeing with me here. I have Atlanta winning the division going 12-5.
That doesn't totally surprise me. Penix is going to be their starter.
Yep.
And Cousins is still on the team.
$45 million backup.
Oh, hell of a backup.
Hey, it's an expensive insurance policy, but if it pays off, it's a very talented roster.
It is.
We'll see if Raheem Morris can get the most out of it. I have Tampa going 10-7. They're getting older.
Mm-hmm.
I really like what they have at quarterback and wide receiver and the whole roster. I think Baker Mayfield's obviously the real deal, but I think there's still some holes that need to be filled. But they'll go 10-7. I have Carolina going 7-10.
They're a sleeper.
They're a sleeper. They could easily go 10-7. There's a couple of games I really had to think about here that I gave them losses. But I think they go 7-10. I have New Orleans at 2-15. I think they will be the first overall draft pick next year.
And Arch will follow his grandfather, Archie, and be the Saints quarterback. It's just too perfect.
There's so many holes on that roster, but they have a good core there.
And I don't want Arch to wear number 8. It doesn't come down.
Yeah, you don't take down retired numbers.
No.
You just don't. He can be 18.
He needs to build his own legacy.
He does. 16 is what he's wearing now. He'll
Let him
probably wear that in the
Just
pros.
double.
My last division, the NFC West. You remember when I mentioned tiebreakers?
Go ahead.
That I had to go in and pick tiebreakers. So I had to go by division wins here. I have one of these teams going 5-1 in the division. The other one going 4-2 in the division. Winning the division is the LA Rams going 11-6.
I think that's probably what's going to happen.
I have the San Francisco 49ers in second, also going 11-6.
They'll go as far as Purdy's going to take him.
The schedule helps them out a lot. I mean, they're playing New Orleans, Arizona. They're playing the Giants. They're playing Arizona again. They have Cleveland.
They're in the same division with Arizona. Of course, they're playing them twice.
Yeah, but they're a bad team. You're playing Indianapolis. You're playing Chicago, Seattle. I don't know what they're going to be. I have Seattle going 9-8, and then I have Arizona going 5-12. I believe this is the end of the Kyler Murray era.
Or Arizona could go 10-7.
I don't think so. I mean, how long can you go with a 5'9" quarterback? He has the arm. He has the athletic ability. He just doesn't have the height. I don't think he sees the receivers he's throwing to half the time.
They've got a design for him in the same way they had to with Doug Flutie, and Doug Flutie was, I think, bigger than Kyler
I think
Murray
they're the
is.
same height.
I'm not sure, but
Either way, I mean, if you can't see over your offensive line, it's a problem.
it's been a problem. He's taken big strides over the last couple of years.
He has, but the coach that drafted him is gone.
Sure.
The GM that drafted him is gone. This is going to be a very short leash. They can get out of this contract next year, no penalty. I think this is the end of the Kyler Murray era. I don't even think he plays the whole season. They go 5-12, put themselves in a prime spot to draft a quarterback in next year's draft.
Okay, who do you have in the playoffs?
All right. My playoff picks. The AFC. I had to go a lot of tiebreakers here. I had to go into the NFL rule book because I had 3 teams
You look
going
at
12-5. I had to.
You're beyond obsessed.
I had to. I had the Bengals ahead of the Bills because I have the Bengals beating the Bills in their head-to-head matchup.
Where is that game?
I have to go back to my list. That game is... Where's Buffalo on here? It is at Buffalo. So I have Cincinnati beating the Bills in Buffalo.
Right.
I do.
Okay.
I do. I had to then go. The Bengals and Chargers did not play each other, so they had the same division record. So I had to go to common game tiebreakers, which means the LA Chargers are the number 1 seed in the AFC. The Cincinnati Bengals are number 2 seed, and the Buffalo Bills are the number 3 seed.
Okay.
Number 4 seed, Houston Texans, because they are the 4th division winner. 2 11-6 teams that went into the 5th and 6th seeds. Again, same division record, no head-to-head matchup. So I had to go to a common game tiebreaker here, which means the 5th seed is the Baltimore Ravens. The 6th seed is the Denver Broncos. And they were 2 10-7 teams.
Kansas City and Pittsburgh, if I'm remembering correctly.
Kansas City and Pittsburgh. Aaron Rodgers, possible last hurrah. And the end of an era of the Patrick Mahomes Chiefs as we know them today. I had to go to division record.
And
the 7th seed in the AFC is the Kansas City Chiefs.
I think Pittsburgh's in the playoffs.
Well, I made a list.
You did.
As a true Wisconsin man, I made a list. But unlike the other Wisconsin man, again, I actually have writing on my list here.
Go to the NFC.
It's good McCarthy jokes. You don't get good McCarthy jokes very often.
Because nobody tells McCarthy jokes.
And I am on top of it today into the NFC playoffs. The 1 seed, there were 2 12-5 teams, went by division record here for a tiebreaker. The number 1 seed is the Detroit Lions. The number 2 seed is the Atlanta Falcons, both at 12-5. I had 3 11-6 teams. San Francisco Niners, LA Rams, we already talked about. LA Rams win the division. Philadelphia Eagles were also 11-6. I had to go on to division record, which was won by the LA Rams. So they are the 3 seed. The Philadelphia Eagles are the 4 seed. 5 seed San Francisco 49ers, 1 10-7 team in the NFC. That is Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And I had 3 9-8 teams. I had Washington, I had Seattle, and I had Green Bay.
Okay, Homer Roy.
I had to go for the division records on all of these.
And you went with the Green Bay Packers being in the playoffs.
I want to make one thing clear here before I announce my 7th seed. You can call me a homer. I had no intention of picking playoff teams.
But you did.
But I did.
And
I was surprised as anybody else at the 7th seed on this list, which honestly I don't consider a playoff team because it didn't exist a few years ago. None of these teams should be in the playoffs. 7th seed is Green Bay Packers.
There it is.
I don't want to be called a homer. I did not make this list expecting the Packers to make the playoffs. I didn't. It's just how it worked out.
Here's my
when I was picking the games.
Okay, here's my question. If they are the 7th seed, which I could see them sneaking in, does Ed Policy clear out Gutekunst and LaFleur at the end of the
Depends
season?
what they do in the playoffs. I mean, with the lineup I have right now, they're going to go into Atlanta with a very hot Falcons team, and I think they're going to get smoked. And if that happens, you're gone. I mean, Matt LaFleur's gone.
We talked about it last week.
Our draft and develop has not been great.
We talked about it last week. They led the league by almost 2-1 in drop passes.
Yeah.
That's killed Love.
Yeah.
I mean, the balls have been there to be caught, and the receivers just haven't done it.
I think Goody might stay and get to pick his own coach. But if you look at if you look at his draft and you actually look at the player, he drafted Rashawn Gary. He drafted Jair Alexander, who was a great player. He just couldn't stay healthy. Eric Stokes was a bust. He drafted all those wide receivers, and I think one of them sticks around at the end of the year, and that is Jaden Reed, and then Matthew Golden, who he didn't pick. He's been great with the free agent signings. He's gotten us a lot of good free agents that has taken us to new levels.
He should have.
The drafting has been rough, man.
It's been very rough.
It hasn't been good.
No. It's going to be interesting next week. We're scheduled to have J.P. Peterson. I want to hear from Tampa, who we listen to down there forever. And it's going to be great to have him on, not only to talk about the Rays and the stadium situation, but we're also going to ask him about what he thinks about the Bucks this year.
I think they're going to be an interesting team. So they could be a sleeper to be really, really good. I really think the Falcons are going to win the division because I made a list, and that's what it told me. But they could be a sleeper for sure. Here's my last question for you. Of the teams that we see out there right now that could be good, who are your top 5 sleepers in the NFL this year?
I don't know if I have 5, but my sleepers would be Carolina, New England. New England could be really good.
I think they're a year away. Drake May is a sophomore quarterback.
Yeah, but
everybody but Bo Nix I picked to have a sophomore slump.
Okay. Arizona could surprise some people. I know you don't think they can, but I think they could. Sleepers, let's see, who else? I mean, the Bears, if they turn around, could be that sleeper team and just surprise everybody.
They will.
I don't think Minnesota is going to be a sleeper. I think they're taking a step back. Seattle might be interesting.
So there were 2 teams I had a really hard time with in deciding if they were going to be good or not. The Carolina Panthers and the Seattle Seahawks. Because I just don't know. The Seattle Seahawks, I think they're going to be right around that 9-8 mark. I think Sam Darnold's a good quarterback. He's going to take them some ways. They have a lot. They're going to need a lot to be good. I could see them being a terrible team this year as well. Carolina, I don't. I think they're going to be that 7-10 area, but I could also see them being 10-7 and making a run of the playoffs this year.
And the Raiders, if they had a quarterback that was a level up from Geno Smith, I think they would be right in the fight. They're a quarterback away. They've got a lot of talent on that team.
I could see them winning some middle of the season games they're not expected to win. I don't think they're going to be anything special.
I don't think so either. I mean,
they're going to be what Geno was in Seattle, which is a mediocre team, possibly a playoff team.
I'm thrilled that Geno's had the second half of his career that he's had.
Yeah.
He had a resurgence. Pete Carroll is going to get them fired up, and they're going to play beyond their talents.
Yes. Trying to see who else I had on here I had trouble with. Nobody, because my picks are perfect. That's why. I do think Indianapolis. So I made the decision. I think Indianapolis is going to be bad this year. Because when you make a list, unlike you would know, you have to make hard decisions. And so I picked Indianapolis to be a bad team this year. They're a team, though, that could end up being decent. Daniel Jones could have a resurgence in his career. What I don't think is going to happen is Anthony Richardson's going to make it the full season.
He hasn't so far.
Last year, he really let me down. When he pulled himself out, it just showed me there's a really immature kid.
Yeah, $1 million talent, 10-cent hit.
100%. He has all the talent in the world. I said on our draft night, I thought he could have been the number 1 overall pick, but he just doesn't have the maturity to be an NFL quarterback. Daniel Jones being there is going to be a huge help. I think Daniel Jones is going to be the starter most of the way. And if he has a career resurgence, because I think he's a lot better than people say he is.
Sure.
I just think they have a lot of other issues on that team.
I also think Jaden Daniels is going to have a better year. As a sophomore, he's going to take a little step back, but I trust Dan Quinn and his coaching staff.
You took away his number 1 weapon. You're not paying his number 1 weapon.
They'll figure it out.
They will.
It'll be better.
The question in Washington, and we're not going to get into this. I don't want to hear your opinion on this. Could they be bringing back the Redskins soon? It's an interesting conversation.
I want the logo back for sure.
I want the logo back. If this conversation means anything, hopefully it means they're bringing the logo back.
I hope so. They're bringing back the old uniforms. Put the logo where it belongs.
Yeah.
Riggins
will be front row if they bring the new logo back.
He will be.
I saw a thing at the stadium. There must have been 35,000 people there. They were all Redskins.
The stupidest,
Every single thing.
stupidest comment I heard was, I think, from the new owner who said, no, people have accepted the Commanders and everybody's moved on. And it's like, you're out of your
It's
mind.
only Redskins stuff in the stands. That's all. What's funny is they still own the trademark to all that. They're still selling the merchandise.
Of course they are.
Of course, it's third party, right? It's not a part of the NFL, but it's still out there to buy, and they are making all the money off of that. It's brilliant business. It really is.
The logo needs to come back. The name has to be worked out because Commanders is a stupid name and never.
Hey, Washington Blackfeet, I'm all for it. I didn't want to bring this up. I didn't
You
want to
did
get you
it.
on a tangent.
You know what happens when I hear about these
I
things.
saw the opportunity. I'm like, hey, I remember this now, and I regret it.
I'm going to poke the bear.
What we have to talk about more is my list, because I made a list of every single game. It is brilliant. It is perfect. I am sticking to this the entire season. This is my list. These are my picks. I've already made all my picks for the year.
There you go.
You tell me which one's going to be, and it's going to last till about week 2. But you let me know what you think in the comments below of my list. And while you're down there, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you get to enjoy this show as much as we enjoy making it. But as you all know, you cannot have a conversation with your father without your dad getting the last word, so it is all you.
He said something at the beginning of the show, which is true. These guys that you watch that are great players are there for a very short time. You want your kids to fall in love with the sports that you love all your life. Make sure they get to the games so they can see these guys play in person. So for not taking you to see Ryan Sandberg, I'm sorry. I did get you a Ferris Bueller's Day.
You did get me a Ferris Bueller's Day. You also didn't take me to see Michael Jordan, so there's a lot to be mad at
That
you
was
about.
never going to happen.
Thank you, as always, for watching. This has been Sports Talk with Dad. We'll see you next time.
Bye, everybody.